Hey, what's up YouTubers, and welcome back to another Todd E. Walnuts video. Today I'm going to be showcasing some more vintage horror magazines that I picked up over the last month. And the majority of these magazines are creepy, so I filled in some of the issues that I was missing, which my creepy collection was not very big to begin with, so there was quite a few books that I needed, and I still need quite a few more, but I was able to add quite a chunk to the collection, and I'm going to go through and show you guys everything that I picked up. The majority of these magazines came from Dr. Zoom. I'm going to link his channel down below. He shipped everything very quickly, very well protected. I'm going to go through and show you guys the books that I picked up. A lot of these are kind of lower numbers, so they're a little more expensive, but I feel like I got very good deals on the majority of these. I also got a couple other little miscellaneous books here on the side, and we'll go through those as well. So go ahead and get yourself relaxed. Get a snack and a beverage, kick your feet up, light a candle, and let's check out some of these creepy vintage horror magazines that I picked up. You may notice, if you have a good eye, an eagle eye if you will, that the dogs are not here. They are here, they're just not in my room right now. I just didn't want them jumping up and down on the bed with these magazines laying around. So they're just outside the door. I can hear Hannah. She gets very nosy, and I can hear her laying up against the door listening to what I'm doing in here. She wants to be in here, but unfortunately she can't. So the first edition is number 3. This was back when they had 35-cent stamp. 35-cent stamp, 35-cent cover price. I don't know what I'm thinking right now. Very nice cover. This is a Frank Frazetta cover. All in really good condition. I think the majority of these books are from anywhere from very good to fine plus, or maybe even, I'm not a grader. I'm not even going to pretend that I know about grading, but these are in really good condition. I would say like maybe they're very fine to very fine plus, some of them. So that's number 3. I also got number 7, and also some of these are in a little worse condition, but I didn't mind, and the price was very good. So this one has a rolled spine, and it has a little bit of staining along the spine there as well, and some creases, but that's okay. I don't plan on getting any of these graded. These are going to be read, and I'm going to possibly do some flip throughs here on YouTube. I'll flip through some of these magazines and check them out. But there's some really good artwork here. I think I mentioned that this is number 7. And if it ever happens that I want to upgrade 1 or 2 of these along the way, I can always do that as well. But some of these lower number issues are pretty pricey now. Here's number 8 from April. Bonus length chiller, The Coffin of Dracula. I didn't even have to board and bag these. These already came bagged. Some of them are boarded, some of them are not, but they're in such good condition that I don't feel like I have to change these out. This is another Frank Frazetta cover. This is number 9. can see that it's kind of cut off at the top there. This one has kind of a rolled spine too, but other than that, it's in really good condition. Number 10. I did a little searching here on YouTube to see if I can find some collection videos of creepy magazines or Eerie or famous monsters. And there are a few. Surprisingly, there's not as many as I thought there would be. And still, I think the best collection overview that I've seen was from Gratu Orloff, who has a channel called Hotel Orloff, and I'll link his video down below. That way you can go check out his collection and subscribe to him from that same link. But he has an amazing collection, and he went in depth more than any of the other videos that I've seen. I think you guys will get a kick out of that. Here's another Frank Frazetta cover. This is number 11. Horror as the Beastman Stalks. That's an awesome cover. I love the color scheme there. Giant Kong type monster. Really cool. This one's number 12, and this one seems like it's in really good condition. And the black background, usually these magazines, they show every little imperfection, because the black background will pick up little, spine ticks or folds or creases. But this seems like it's in really good condition, considering the age. It says, "Can you face these new haunting tales of fear and horror?" Spine number 12. Still 35 cents. Here's another one that I see listed from time to time, and it's kind of rare to get this particular issue in a good condition. I don't know if it's the green background or what, but this one has a couple issues on it. I'm not really concerned about that. And again, Dr. Zoom was very open and transparent about the quality of these books. And he even brought it to my attention a couple times and would say, hey, this one has, this issue, and this one has this, fold or crease or chunk missing. Some I chose not to purchase, and some I was like, just throw it in a pile. It's okay. He gave a great deal, I thought, to me. If you guys are interested in some of these older monster magazines, he has a ton of the old Eerie magazines that were also put up by Warren Magazine. There's a company, a factory in my neighborhood called Warren Packaging, but this is Warren Magazine. This one is a really cool cover. I will try to get a better edition at some point, but I really like this cover. This one's a little pricey too. This one's a little bit harder to find in good quality. And that is number 13. Kind of like a Wolfman, I guess, or I'm not really sure. Some kind of a monster in the graveyard. Picking up a hottie. All right, the next one here is number 14. Now, another reason why I recommend Gratu Orloff is he's very knowledgeable about these books, and he basically grew up buying these as a kid. He bought these right off the newsstand. And he knows the history about all these magazines. I wish I knew more than I did so I can make the video a little more entertaining, but Really don't know too much about these books other than I think they're awesome. I think these are great. Now this one is number 16. I think going forward now, the rest of these are not boarded. I do have boards, but I don't know if I'm going to board these or not, just because I want to look at the back too. So this is number 16 from August, and this has a 40-cent tag now. Frank Frazetta cover. And now we can start to look at some of the images on the back. So Famous Monsters of Filmland is another series of horror magazines, and they're very expensive these days, especially for the lower number, the earlier issues. If you find those, and if you find them in good condition, they can be quite pricey. Here's number 17. It says Creepy October. Wild New Adventure LP Records, only $1.98. Get The Invisible Man, Journey to the Center of the Earth, Around the World in 80 Days, War of the Worlds, The First Man in the Moon, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Superman, King Kong, Dinosaurs, and Flash Gordon. It would be amazing to have those. I'm sure you can find them, and I wonder if Gratu or Meyer or Captain Strangelove have some of those, if not all of them, maybe. I don't know. Be cool to see them. This is number 18. This is another really good cover, kind of a sea serpent type monster. How horrifying would that be if you're on a raft? It looks like the waves are pretty high, and then there's a sea serpent you have to try to avoid. And here are the Eerie magazines that I was talking about. So Dr. Zoom, if you check that link down below, he has quite a few of these for sale if you're interested. And maybe if you tell him that I sent you, he may cut you a little deal. And I'm sure the more you buy, the better the deal will be. I can't speak for him, but it doesn't hurt to check them out. Here's number 19. This issue reveals the mark of the beast. That's a great cover. Again, there's some more Eerie magazines. I'm going to pause it here for a minute. Issue number 20. This one's in really good condition. This is The World of the Creepy. Has some Monster World magazines on the back. Number 24. I'd be curious to hear if any of you guys have a vintage horror magazine collection. And if you do, if you plan to make a video, or if you've made a video, let me know. I will definitely check it out. A slithering selection of terror tales guaranteed to give you the creeps. Number 24. This one has, it says, "We here at Warren are just bubbling over about Uncle Creepy and Cousin Eerie's cauldron contest." says the contest closes at midnight, December 15th, 1968. So I think I'm a little bit late to the party on that one. Here's a great cover. It's number 26. It's in pretty good condition. These are genuine hand-painted movie masks, direct from Hollywood. And you can buy paperback books. Let's see what they're asking for the masks. They are super deluxe heavy rubber masks that cover the entire head and still remain flexible. There are also some monster hands available, see the coupon, exactly like the actual masks and hands used in the famous Universal movies. Created for us exclusively by Hollywood's Don Post Studios and featuring the secret Hollywood skin-textured formula. Each remarkable mask is a collector's item you'll treasure for years to come. And it looks like the Mad Doctor right there is $34. Now you got to figure back in 1968, $34 was a chunk of change. That may be equivalent to maybe like a couple $100. I'm not really sure, but the mole people mask right there is also $34. And if you want to buy 2 mole people hands, it's going to cost you $17.50. The Phantom mask, Phantom of the Opera, $34. So it looks like basically all of the masks are $34, and the ones that come with hands are going to be $17.50 for the hands. And then down here for the paperbacks, it says any 2 books are $1. Any 3 books $1.50, and if you buy all 4 books, it's $2. Please add 20 cents per book for postage and handling, and you can mail it to the Grand Central Station, New York, New York. The next one is 27. It says Thane returns to battle the Barbarian of Fear. Another Frank Frazetta cover. I'd be curious to hear who your favorite artist of all time is. If you want to comment that down below. Number 28. Now the price is up to 50 cents at this point. So 27 was still 40 cents. And then 28 went up to 50 cents. And that's beautiful. I love that pink background. It looks really good. Good Lord, bullets won't stop it. Only one thing left to do. And I guess you're going to have to tune in and do a little reading to figure out what that is. You can see the bullets going right through the wing. And that guy looks like he's toast. Nice knowing you. There's Barnabas Collins. I never really got into Dark Shadows. I think maybe now that I'm older, maybe I should go back and revisit it to see if I gained any respect or like for the series, but That's something I never really got into, Dark Shadows. Here's number 72, so we skipped quite a bit. And that's because I do have some of these other issues between 28 and 72 already in my collection. And someday I'll go through all of everything I have. But today is just for the new magazines that I picked up recently. So I was saying this is number 72, and by this point, the price tag is up to $1. And this one has 6 chilling adventure classics. Some sci-fi goodness. Cyborgs clash in a high voltage vendetta. The prize? Immortality. Another one that's in really good condition. Looks like it was gently read and very well taken care of. Now, Scott, who is Dr. Zoom, he's selling all of these magazines. They were from one owner. I don't want to tell you. It's a private story, and it's his story to tell, not mine. So, but all of these magazines came from one owner, and they're all in, most of them are in really, really good condition, and you can tell that they were really well taken care of. Here's number 73. This one's $1.25. And he's very open about the quality, and he's very receptive to questions. So if you find that you want to buy some magazines from him, like again I said, I'll leave that link down below, and you can go talk to him, and he'll let you know what's up, and he'll give you a price. He's very fair. He's a very good grader, I think. To me, I think he's a little conservative on his grades, actually. When I get the books, I feel like they're in better condition than he actually described them. So I'm very, very happy with these purchases. Here's number 79. Now this is a little weird because it went from 73, the price tag was $1.25, and 6 issues later it went back down to $1. Went down to a quid for my bell ends out there. And this is from May 1976. It says there were 3 kinds of people: the living, the dead, and those who were somewhere in between. I guess she's holding on to a severed hand, forearm, I think. Here's another magazine that was put out by Warren Magazine. It's called Comics International. I don't have any of those, not yet anyway. I don't know if I'll grab those. If I can find them at a good price, maybe. I have other things on my radar at the moment, so I'm going to try to fill holes on these creepy magazines. I'd like to get some more Vampirella or Famous Monsters. Here's number 80, and again it is back, or is still at $1 now, and this is from June of 1976. It's a beautiful cover. Out there in the dark, lurking monsters wait. Between humanity and death stand the Imagineers. Again, same ad that was on the previous magazine for Comics International. They also had a couple different kind of, I guess, sporty covers. Here's one, looks like maybe some kind of a robot who's throwing a grenade instead of a baseball. I think they also had a football one, and I don't know if I have that one yet. I don't remember. This is number 84 from November of 1976. And this one on the back shows some monster shirts. You can wear a Warren cover. They have creepy and eerie and famous monsters. They look pretty nice, pretty cool. And the next one, this one's in rough shape, but I wanted it anyway. He gave me a good price on it. So this is number 87, and it went back up to $1.25. And you can see that it has kind of like 3 different, I guess, subsections from the book. You get all new sci-fi monsters, 6 stories. Now this one, if you look on the back, this is from March of 1977. And you can see that this one's a little bit ate up, but that's fine. I just wanted to read it. If I feel like I need to, I can try to find this and upgrade it. Really not in a hurry to do that. And I looked, and this, it doesn't really go through too much into the book, so it doesn't affect the story or anything like that, so it's completely fine for me. The next one is number 94. This is from January of 1978. Weird children's issue, it's called. And this one's in really, really good condition. Looks like it was barely read. Number 95. Now we're up to $1.50 per issue. And this one says naked apes in color. See evil, hear evil, and speak evil. The guerrilla warfare issue. I remember Meyer Greenblatt talking about this one in one of his videos. I'm going to link him down below too, so you guys have some good choices to pick from down below. You're going to get Dr. Zoom. You can go check out his magazines that he's selling. You're going to get Gratu Orloff over at Hotel Orloff, who is a very entertaining YouTube personality, I'm going to call him. And Meyer Greenblatt, who is Gratu's friend, also very knowledgeable. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to catch a lot of videos lately. I've been really busy. But those are definitely guys you're going to want to check out, subscribe to, and go show them some support. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And I'm also going to list a comic book store owner, and he's also a collector. His name is Kevin over at Gotham City Comics in Tucson, Arizona. I'll leave his link down below, and he's another friend of Gratu Orloff and Meyer Greenblatt. And those guys purchase a lot of items from Kevin's store, and he has a lot of really cool stuff from, you can buy like, well, obviously comics, and then he has horror figures like NECA figures and other things like that. And he has some of the hardbound collectible volumes of different comics and stuff like that. Really, really high quality, good stuff. And he's the owner of the comic book store. And this one's number 96, and it went back down to $1.25. So we're seeing a pretty weird fluctuation in prices. It went from like $1 to $1.50, back down to $1, back to $1.50, now to $1.25. They must have been trying to feel their way through, and maybe they noticed at one point that magazines weren't selling, so they had to go back down. This is where Gratu comes into play, because he knows all these little intricacies of, you know, how these companies were working back then, because he was actually, you know, he was there. He was he had his boots on the ground. He was there at ground zero when this all went down. Gonna pause it here for a minute, take a drink, and we'll keep going. Number 102, and we're at $1.75. This is a giant All Monsters issue. This one's a square bound. This one is in really, really good condition. This is from October of 1978. Looks like some kind of a gangster underworld monster. You got Future World and Star Quest. I believe that Dr. Zoom has some of these available, unless they're sold now. I think he did have a couple of these magazines for sale in his page. All you have to do is look for that link down below and you can go see everything that he has listed. This is number 103. Now we went from $1.75, which was the giant issue, and we went back down to $1.25. Demon Beasts Unleashed. This is another great cover. And this magazine looks like it's in mint condition. I mean, there's not a nick or a scratch or a crease. This thing is in really good condition. So you get some Star Wars books on the back. It says if you want to order any of these items, please see the Convenience Rush order form. Next one is a robot issue. It's another square bound issue, and this one's in perfect condition. Number 104. Oops, I'm flipping these upside down because as soon as I'm done showing these, then I'm filing them away in order. Here's another Star Wars ad on the back of that one. And then we have number 106. This is the Swords and Sorcery special. This one's up to $1.50. And it looks like this one's from March of 1979. Cool. This one has Superman, a collection of records and books. Man, to have some of these. I think this was the same image or a very similar image that was on the Max Fleischer DVD set that was put out some years ago, and I believe it does have a Blu-ray upgrade by now. Read the books and listen to the records. I remember doing that a lot when I was a kid. Issue 107. This is a all sci-fi spectacular. This one's from May of 1979. Look at those feet. Lord of the Rings spectacular motion picture. I believe that was the Ralph Bakshi animated movie, and which was excellent, by the way. I really enjoy that. I have that on DVD and Blu-ray. So creepy number 108 is, if I can peel that off there, is from June of 1979. This is called Visions of Hell. And that almost, to me, that kind of looks like some of the Japanese horror art from the 50s or 60s. Has a $1.50 price tag. There's a Lord of the Rings Warren magazine. I'm looking for that. I've been looking for that one for a while. I've been looking for this one for a couple of years, year and a half maybe. Number 111 from September of 1979. This is the Dracula Wants You. Now this one is probably my least favorite cover out of all of the issues that I own. I think that Dracula looks really bad. I think they could have done a way better job. This looks like a Twilight vampire to me. I just don't like the way that I like, Dracula to be kind of, horrifying. This guy looks like he's, I don't know, the lead singer from Goo Goo Dolls or something. He doesn't look scary at all to me, but I mean, the magazine's in good shape. I think they could have done a better job with a villainous looking Dracula to me. But so you have some Star Wars toys on the back, radio controlled R2-D2, which is some of these toys are worth some pretty good money now, in good condition, or maybe even boxed. And the next one is from January 1980. This is issue number 114. What in Hell? Adolf Hitler returns on page 23. This is another kind of a Japanese-looking cover to me. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I think some of that Japanese art from that like the 50s looks amazing. And this looks like it's kind of a homage to that. I don't know. That's just my own opinion. Issue number 115. It's from February 1980. Looks like some kind of an insect alien. It says turn to page 22 and pick the winners in the 1979 Warren Awards Spectacular. This has a $1.75 price tag. The New Warriors Battle Jacket for exciting adventures from the disco to the outer limits of space. So you can buy a New Warriors Battle Jacket, I kid you not, and it looks like for a children's size, it's $24.95 for small children, and if you start getting into the larger children, it's $29.95. Women, $34.95, and men, $39.95 if you want to get you a sweet ass New Warriors Battle Jacket. How many of you guys out there had that sweet ass New Warriors Battle Jacket? Let me know down below. And do you still wear it? And so moving on now to issue number 122. This is from October of 1980. And by now the font for Creepy has changed. So going back to issue number 115, it still has that kind of that old school Creepy logo, which I really like that. And then it kind of went to a more clean, kind of a cleaned up Creepy logo. I prefer the other one. This has a price tag of $1.75. And this one says, Death Haunts the Streets Midnight in Chinatown. 7 pulse-pounding illustrated horror epics. And you can order some Empire Strikes Back figures. And I had quite a few of these when I was a kid. I even had the carrying case. I had all the weapons. But as time goes on, and these were well played with, they would break. You would lose things. You would lose weapons. Number 123. This one's called The Slave. She was a seductress. She was evil. She enchanted men and transformed them into monsters. She was a siren. Got a $1.75 price tag. This is from November 1980. I believe there was only 146 issues. I could be wrong about that. I'll have to double check, but it was somewhere around like 146, maybe 148. Here's some more of the Empire Strikes Back toys. Those were cool. Those were pretty fun to play with back then. I think I grew up in a really cool time. So now they changed the font back to the original Creepy. This is from November of 1981. Now this one has a $2 price tag. This is issue 133. I don't know if I just repeated myself. And this one says to return the gift of light to his darkened world, Kobold. That looks really great. See, some of these covers were way better than some of the other ones. This was a great cover here. It says the ancient warrior fought an army of elves. That sounds like it would be a good read. And now we have issue 136. Also has a $2 price tag. This is from March 1982. And this one has an X on the barcode. I'm not exactly sure what that means. It looks like the X was printed over the barcode. If anybody knows exactly what that means, I would be interested to hear. Is this one of the magazines that didn't sell and then I don't know. Plunged into the nightmare realm, teetering on the brink of hell. Mother Zenobia and the Satan glass. Ooh, this is cool. It has a horror movie yearbook from 1981. Do you guys know who that is? Oh, wow. Very cool. There's Motel Hell on the right. Film Fantasy Yearbook. Really nice. 1982 Collector's Edition. Warren really put out some great stuff. Number 138. This is from June of 1982. Wizards and Warriors, Battle in Fools and Kings, plus Loathsome Murderous Mummy Rises in the Lamb to the Slaughter, and Blood Splattered Spectacular. This also has a printed X. I don't know what that means. It looks like the next one does too. So 3 in a row. I don't know if these came in a 3-pack maybe, so they couldn't be sold separately. I don't know. I'm really curious. I know some of you guys, the throbbing brain out there, would know what that means. And here on the back, these are full color art books. You get Amber Star, Empire, Neverwhere, Dune, Yershirek, Alien, Barlow's Guide to Extraterrestrials, The Flights of Icarus, The Magic Goes Away, Richard Corbin, Space Wars, and Sentinel. I'm trying to see a price tag here. It looks like they're $7.95 each. Some of them are $3.95. This one here is $12.50. So they're anywhere from $3.95 to $12.50. Number 141 from September 1982. This price tag is $2.25. And this one was the third one in a row that had the printed X on the barcode. There's a lot going on here in this cover. A lot of violence and WTF. go again with the same books ad that was on the previous. This one is number 142 from October 1982. It has a $2.50 price tag. We're getting down to the end here. Here's some more Empire Strikes Back toys. Two more creepy. This is number 143. $2.25 price tag from November 1982. Earth shudders under the devastating attack of a vengeful alien. And you can see how these were kind of on the sci-fi kind of angle that they were going for here, all due to the fact that, you know, Star Wars was very successful and popular around this time. The Spectator Who Wept. And there's some more of those books on the back. And the last creepy is number 145. So if I'm right, if my memory is right, there was 146 issues. There was one after this one. And I'm missing some in between the beginning and now, so I probably have, well, I have quite a few to get. I'm not even going to try to guess. Maybe 40 to 50 that I'm missing. Maybe more, I don't even know. This one was from February 1983. A plague of vampires descends on a frightened town. Moral blood, plus the Iceman killeth, and all of them must die. And that looks like a great cover. That's really good. He's eating the flesh of his enemies, and he has a damsel in distress. And here we go. There's more of these monster and movie masks. And these are a little bit more affordable anyway. They're probably a little bit less quality than the earlier ones we saw, but you can get Mummy for $13.95. Nosferatu, Yeti, King Kong, Quasimodo, C-3PO, Sargoth, Cobra, Hydroloid, Alien, Old Vampire, Stormtrooper, Chewbacca, Darth Vader. Those were all very expensive. So the Stormtrooper's $35.95. Chewbacca, $49.95. That looks really good though. That's a beautiful mask. And Lord Vader, $31.95. Then you got Spock and a Klingon. Those are very expensive. Spock was $51.95, as was the Klingon. And then you get the Master Vulcan, a Vulcan Master, and Yoda, Pumpkinhead. That's not, that's the original Pumpkinhead, I guess. That's not the famous Pumpkinhead, though. The one that we like. And then you have Aughra. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. From the Dark Crystal. And that is not a really good mask, especially at that price, $55.95. That doesn't look really good to me. It looks kind of cheap, and so does the Pod Peasant. Looks pretty cheap, also from the Dark Crystal. I'm going to pause it here. That was the end of the creepy magazines. I have a little pile here of other little goodies, and then we'll end the video. So we are going to take a quick break from magazines, and I want to show you guys these two comics that Dr. Zoom sent to me. Now the one on the right I purchased from him. Dr. Zoom is also a big horror fan. Obviously you can see all the magazines I've been picking up from him, but we both share the same love for Adam Green, especially the Hatchet movies. So I picked up this Hatchet here. This is number 3. It's in perfect condition. And then he also threw in one for free. This is Hatchet number 1. and it just says here, he sent a little note with this. It says, "You can just have it. I think I double ordered, or Midtown gave me an extra copy. Enjoy." So he offered to sell this to me, and I wanted it, but I was already at a pretty hefty price. And even though I think it was very well worth it, it was still a little chunk of change for me to put down for these books. So I told him that I would pass on this just because, I was kind of at a high dollar amount, and he threw it in. So I thought that was really cool. So I got a couple of Hatchet books. I'm going to thumb through these. These are going to be good. Looking forward to these. So Scott, I don't know if you're watching this video, but I really appreciate everything that you've done for me here. He packaged these amazingly, and so what he did was, out of all those books that I just got, he tucked them away into 3 different, I guess they're called Gemini mailers, and then he put those in a bigger box with a lot of padding and paper and all kinds of stuff, and they came in perfect, pristine condition. So he really takes care of the stuff that he mails to his customers. So I'm going to pause it here, and we'll get into this last little pile. This next book is probably the crown jewel out of everything that I picked up from Scott, aka Dr. Zoom. This is Eerie number 2, which there's a history behind this. So Eerie number 2 is actually Eerie number 1, because there's a long story behind it. I think it was Gratu Orloff. I was watching a video describing how this happened. I think it was Gratu. I could be wrong. It might have been Meyer. It might have been Captain Strangelove. Hell, it may have been somebody else. I don't remember. But just briefly, Eerie was a Warren magazine, and they wanted to publish this magazine, this line, as Eerie. There was another company called Eerie Publications, which was not affiliated with Warren, but they wanted to call their magazine Eerie. So James Warren created this, and he sent to the press really quick a very small, kind of a shoddy number 1 in a very low quantity, just so it could hit the shelves, so he can have the magazine be called Eerie. So he beat Eerie Publications to the punch. So he was able to sell his magazine as Eerie. As far as I know, the original run for number 1 was only something like 200 or 250 copies, and it was a much smaller magazine than this. And like I said, they just kind of ran out a low quality magazine just so it can hit the newsstands, just so they can sell it. And then they put their money into number 2 as kind of like their mainstay, and their top quality as the magazine run was going to take off, as number 2 being number 1, if that makes sense. So this is number 2, and it's in really, really good condition. I'm going to take this one out so you can see it a little bit better. And these magazines are very expensive. He gave me a really good deal, even though it was still very expensive. I think I got it for probably about a third of the price of what he probably could have sold it for. So we'll just kind of flip through this. There's a couple little issues. It's missing a little corner. That doesn't bother me. This is a very old magazine. So this is a magazine from 1966. And I think, considering that it's from 1966, it's in stellar condition. That's a cover from Frank Frazetta. So this is kind of coveted by fans as the number 1 of the series, and I know that even copies that are not graded, and some of them that are in like mid-grade are still going for $100 or more. I would consider this as a higher grade, even though it has a couple of little issues. It's still in really, really good condition. I'm not going to get it graded, although he suggested that maybe I could get it graded, or maybe I should. I've never gotten anything graded before. I do own graded comics, but I bought them already graded, so I don't know. I don't even really know where to go or how to do that, because you would want to get it cleaned and pressed and then sent off to CGC or CBCS. This one is, it's got a little nick down here, but all in all, I mean, this is in really, really good condition. Very happy with this. This one I am going to rebag. I'm going to put a board in it, but I'm not going to grade it. I will read that though. And so that was the last. I got that from Dr. Zoom as well. So that was the very end of everything that I picked up from him. Now these other magazines were from other sellers, and these were kind of like one-offs. So I'm not even going to do any shout-outs or anything, but this one is called Horror Monsters. Fiendish Terror, Shock Theater. Bob Burns, Man of Horror. I'm going to pull this one out really quick. I'm going to show you this one. It says a 35-cent price tag. I think this was from 1968. I already did rebag and board that, but I didn't really look through it yet. I just kind of put it aside so I can kind of go through it with you guys here. But some of these magazines are getting harder to find. This is a Charlton publication. See that there at the top right corner? It looks like it's number 4 from the run. It's from 1962. And it's in really good condition. I mean, obviously it has yellowing pages, but everything seems like it's in really good condition. I doubt this was even read, because it feels like it's still kind of tight along the spine, like the pages haven't even been bent. And being that it's 51 years old, or actually 61 years old, this book, 61, not 51. There we go with math again. But I'm afraid to even really bend it, because this paper is so old that it would probably split. But I will read this at some point, and I'll be very gentle. I'm just not going to do it now with one hand. But this is really, really nice. Bob Burns making up The Mummy. He was a very, very gifted special effects artist. And I'm very glad to own this issue. So that is Horror Monsters. I'll put that away off camera, so when I have two hands I can take my time and do that right. So these three are more modern horror magazines, and these were very cheap. I was pretty disappointed with the seller on this one. They're called Fractured Scary Tales, and this is volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3. And you can see the price tag on these. At one point, the first one was $14.95, fall of 2015. So 8 years ago, this magazine was $15. This one was from summer of 2016, $15, excuse me. And volume 3 was $10. The way that the seller, it looks like it's autographed. Not really sure. But the seller shipped these, and it was really poor packaging, and the magazine's got a little bit of damage. Unfortunately, I had to leave this guy semi-negative feedback. I hate to do that, I really do. I've been buying things online for decades now, and I very, very rarely give negative feedback, but sometimes you have to, and unfortunately I had to for this guy, because it was like in a envelope with no extra padding, and these were all, I'm not going to put any pressure on it, but this corner here was pushed all the way in, like it was like the letter C. I mean, it was just bent way back, and I tried to kind of use my thumb and finger and kind of squeeze it back, and it looks a little bit better now than it did, but these were pretty jacked up. And that mark on the top wasn't there in the original pictures of his auction, and that got dinged up and scratched. So all in all, I mean, considering that these were originally $15, so that would be 15, 30, 40 bucks for the three of them. I think I paid 15 total for all three of them. So it could have been worse. And I put these in fresh bags and boarded them. And I may choose these for a magazine flip through at some point. I don't know. I don't know if you guys would be interested in these. This is more modern stuff. I'm kind of right now, I've been on a kick for the vintage stuff, and I think I'm going to flip through the more vintage stuff. And speaking of vintage, I take that back. I thought the Eerie was the last one that I got from Scott at Dr. Zoom, but I believe I also got these two from Dr. Zoom, and this one's called Horror Tales from December of 1973, and these magazines are great. It has that kind of vintage stamp on there, which I kind of like. You know, I think some people would be like, oh man, they ruined my cover, but I kind of like that. I like that there's a stamp on there. And I mean, just these covers are amazing. Really, really good. I think these books were put out by Eerie Publications, and that was the same company I was telling you about earlier that was trying to compete with Warren's Eerie. I could be wrong about that, but I believe that was the case. It was either this one or both that was put out by Eerie Publications. So this one's called Weird. This one's from October 1973. Both of these books are in pretty good condition for the age of these. You know, now these are 50-year-old books, and these covers are pretty amazing. You can see, I don't know if that's a bat or a cat. It looks like it would be a bat, but I don't see any wings, so it might be a cat. I don't know. It's really weird, but whatever it is, it's mowing on that guy's head. I mean, there's, you know, it's got those fangs. That looks like a bat, but I don't see any wings. But yeah, he's really going to town, eating a lunch on that guy. Some kind of a mad scientist with really sharp, long fingernails. Chilling picto fiction. So I believe these are both from Eerie Publications, and I think that was their mark. I don't know if that's going to show up, that little yellow box, and it was also on this one as well. But yeah, these are in pretty good condition. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about these books, and let me know if you'd like to see any of these flipped through someday in a video. I can go through and make like an hour video and just flip through some of these books. Definitely make sure you check those links below, and go share the love. Give those guys a sub. It's free. You know, you'll be helping their channel grow, and plus you'll find some entertainment. I guarantee you'll find some entertainment from those channels. And go check out Dr. Zoom's auctions. He's got some really good stuff. And go check out Kevin at Gotham City Comics in Tucson, Arizona. That's Gratu's boy and Meyer's boy, and Dr. Strange Life. I believe he buys some stuff from Kevin too. He's got some really good stuff, and he's priced very well. You know, very good pricing over there. All right, I always feel like I ramble at the end of these videos, so I'm just going to cut it here. Take care, guys. I'll see you next time. Later.